Hey guys, Brian with Buffalo Beer Reviews. Last night was my the completion of my fermentation of my chip shot with Medusa, Mosaic, and Nugget hops. And I was super excited about it. It smelled amazing. It was the look was exactly what I was going for, with this uber pale yellow sort of vibe, and this the aromatics. I put it into the keg last night. It's been force carbonating since yesterday. I'm going to pull a little bit from the keg, and then I'll pick back up and I'll show you guys all about it. If you guys didn't see part one of the video, I have, is it going to be over here or is it going to be over here? I'll do part one of the homebrew process for chip shot. It's very easy. The malt bill's pretty straightforward. The dry hopping schedule is pretty straightforward. All that sort of stuff, and I'll show you all about it in just about 2 seconds. All right, guys. So this is chip shot. It's really a lot more pale yellow in color than I've seen it reproduced in pictures on my cell phone and stuff like that. So I don't really know how it's going to come across, maybe say on the GoPro, but it's this really nicely pale sort of yellow. It gets a little bit darker right here in the belly of the glass. Was well carbonated. I think once I bled the keg a little bit from that forced carbonation sort of pressure down a little bit, got to turn it up a little bit, but you can taste it when you're sipping it. It's well carbonated, it really is. And it's got this wonderful sort of flowery mosaic aromatics to it, and that's really what I was going for. I scaled back sort of the minutes that the mosaic was going to be in the boil, and you get this really nice, well-pronounced mosaic, flowery green, just borderline danky sort of aroma to it. It's also a bit on the sweet side. It's also a bit on the melon sort of side. Bit on the pine, kind of pine greeny sort of side to it as well. Like I said, this is a chip shot. It's technically considered maybe a hazy IPA. I don't know if you want to use a New England term, but you could if you want. But it's got the flaked oats, it's got the flaked wheat, it's got 2 row, it's got golden promise, it's got carafoam. Medusa, Mosaic, and Nugget. Double dry hopped with just Medusa and Mosaic. What else? My original gravity was right on par. With this batch, my original gravity was, it was a little on the low side, 1044. I don't know if it was a little on the watered down side. My final gravity was 1004, which it leaves me at about a 5.3% ABV. Like I said, I did the Medusa for 25 minutes, I did the Mosaic for 20, I did the Nugget for 10. I actually probably wouldn't mind doing the Mosaic with the Medusa for a grand total of 25 minutes. I was thinking I could up the Mosaic boil time. I kind of forgot about the water treatment, so my calcium chloride did not go in for the full hour of the mash. So I kind of hit that off, or to the mash. Other than that, I yielded a solid 5 gallons of this. And I really liked it. So let's see how this thing tastes, right? Brewing notes aside, I really appreciate the response to the video. People asking me questions and stuff like that. It's really cool. But let's see how this thing tastes, right? We brew beer in our garage and keg it and put it into our systems for a reason. So yeah, still has that real green sort of immature sort of green bite to it. Do you know what I mean? It still has that real mosaic vibe to it, which I like. It's uber floral and green and a bit on the danky side, but you do get this soft, mellow, sort of melon vibe just on the sweet side of the flavor to kind of help round those sharp, immature edges of the Mosaic off. Do you know what I mean? The Nugget, not so much. I'm not. It's right now at this stage of the brew, and it's, you know, post fermentation aging sort of curvature. Not getting a whole lot on the Nugget, but it's all but drinkable. Man, I feel like the body is a little bit on the thin side, and that's really what I was trying to go for with the calcium chloride addition that I didn't get the full amount of time in the mash with. I was really kind of going for a little fattened up sort of body with that calcium chloride. I don't really think I hit it on this, but you can tell it's gonna get there. So I'm gonna tweak it again, and I'm gonna brew it again. It's refreshing. 5.25%, 5.3%. You can drink it all day long, even though it is on that lower side. I kind of like that. I used, and I don't know if I'm so new to it, I just assume, you know, 2 packets of yeast equals more fermentation activity, this, that, the other thing. But I've noticed my attenuation kind of goes up, and my ABV stays a little on the lower side, and this, that, the other thing. So maybe I would just use 1 packet of yeast next time. I started doing that with the next batch that's brewing in there right now. That's got Galaxy and Waimea in it. Galaxy, Nelson Sauvin, and Waimea. That's the next homebrew up on this channel. Other than that, yeah, I feel like it's got a nice mouth coating. It's a bit on the green side. There's that little bit of a sort of aftertaste to it, but even for me, it's not unpleasant. Body is a little bit on the thin side, but that's also what I'm going to try to work on. I don't know, but for, you know, brew batch number 5, I dig it. I really do. This is uber drinkable. It's still something you can put away a couple of. It still gives you a nice little head change. I don't know if you just get used to drinking brews that are in the mid 6s and 7 range, 7.5, and you're used to X amount of alcohol heft, but 5.3 is not all that terrible in my world. It's kind of cool. So I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited as well. If anybody else has any questions or comments, I'd love to hear them, good or bad or whatever. That's just the way the world works. Big boy. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video and a look at some home brewing results. Then I will see you guys in the next one. All right, cheers.